All right, fun fact about me. I have really soft hands. I had no idea my hands were soft. I didn't really have a baseline or anything to compare them to. They've just been my hands and I had nothing else to compare it to. Not that many people touch my hands, but I keep getting feedback like, wow, your hands are so soft. Wow, your hands are so soft. And so eventually it's one of those things that you hear enough times that it must be true. I had to get a background check with the government for my last job, and it wasn't really like anything secret or crazy. It was like any normal background check that you'd have to fill out for a regular job. It's just that the government was collecting it instead of some background check company. So you fill out most of it online and they have your info, but then you had to go downtown to the government building. So I get there and the building is huge. And I'm not exaggerating, there were literally like 10 entrances and it was like super controlled coming in, coming out. And the reason they had 10 entrances, you'd go to one depending on who you were and your status. So it's like, this entrance is for employees. This entrance is for people who are not employees, but they have an appointment. This one is for if you're not an employee, but you don't have an appointment. And then also different doors depending on which agency that you had your appointment with. So then you get there and it's not well marked. So I just had to choose one at random. And so I walked up and said, I have an appointment with blank agency. And they said, okay, go that way. Every single door guard just said, go that way. And it walked me all the way around the block until I got to the last possible entrance. So if I'd only gone one door over from the start, I would have just got it luckily, but I ended up walking around the whole thing. So then you get in there, you go through a metal detector, just like they have at the airport, and like a little bag scanner. You go up the elevator, you get to your appointment, and the guy was like really cool. The agent who happened to be processing my background check was like a super friendly guy, great to talk to. It was fun to hang out with him for a few minutes. And so then the reason you're down there is because the time comes to take your fingerprints. And for anyone who hasn't had their fingerprints taken in like the past, I don't know, decade, the whole finger and ink like they have in crime movies, that's outdated. They do not do that anymore. So now it's like they have these little tiny finger touch pads and he just tells you which finger to put on or to put your whole hand down. And the print just displays right on his screen. So he was telling me to do fingerprint by fingerprint. And then I had to put my hand down and I put my hand down and he goes, wow, you have really smooth hands. And keep in mind, the guy didn't touch my hands once. He was literally just looking at the output on the computer screen and commenting just based on that. And I was like, huh? And he's like, yeah, you have really smooth, soft hands. Like some people come in here and they get their fingerprints taken and their hand is all like garbled and messed up. Like, I don't know, like it's some job they have or like it makes it rough. But your hand, wow, it's just like, that's one of the smoother hands I've seen. And then no joke, he leaned forward across the desk and looked me in the eyes and goes, if you ever commit a crime, wear gloves. And then pulled back and he goes, when investigators come to take fingerprints at a crime scene, the smoother your hands are, the faster it'll come up as a match in the database. So for a person like you, definitely wear gloves. And I was like, But then it was over. And then he was like, yeah, so you know, your background check's over. This looks really great. And then I was sent on my way. I got to keep my job and that was it. But I definitely know now that enough people have commented that I must have some super soft, smooth hands. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.